wanted to read this real quick, right? And I'm going to state this because one thing about this academy and this news, the whole point of this is to use this so that our people can begin to look at things critically outside of the spectrum or the programming that have been propagated on our people for generations since the time we hit the shores. So that we can critically think, right? And I'm going to show you an example of what I'm talking about. And this is what our people need to really, this is how you know that you're under a program. And it's not your fault. It's not our fault. But this is how you know you're programmed. If someone speaks against something, right? And they're speaking against something in specific, we will automatically believe that we're for the exact opposite. We have to break that programming, okay? That if we speak against something, that means we're for the opposite. That means you are controlled under the left-right paradigm. I can speak against something and only focus on that one thing. And the other nations have the propensity and the knowledge to understand that. It doesn't mean I'm for something else. Right. Let's focus on what I'm speaking about. That's the only way we're going to have progress, mental progress, and social progress as a people, right? And here's the example that I'm going to give, right? Yes, and I know this sister didn't mean any harm, but I'm going to use this as an example because it's not her fault. I'm going to use this as an example to help our people. Because yesterday I was talking in a black church about the harm that the Democratic Party has always done against black people. They've always perpetrated. They were the Confederate against us, hanging us in the South. Lyndon Johnson said that he's going to trick people up and have blacks vote Democrat for the next 200 years, not realizing that's the party that have always destroyed black people, right? So I was talking about that yesterday. And someone left a message on the page and says, "I'm sorry, Elder, but you speak if the Democrats hate us and the Republicans love us." Now, who spoke about Republicans? So something is going on with our people in their minds based on them listening to TV, that if you speak about one thing, that you must be for the other thing, right? But my question back, because I wanted her to really examine her thinking, who mentioned Republicans?
Right.
And so this is the analogy that I'll give our people in the communities, right? So that you don't get caught up in the television left-right paradigm and believe if someone is talking against Democrats, they Republican. Only black people think like that, okay? White people are not pigeonholed into any party one way or the other. They're going to go to either side based on what particular party will presently produce for them. If there's something they need to pass that's going to have it where their businesses thrive, they'll jump from Republican to Democrat. Okay? They don't care about what party. It's who's serving their interest. Only black people think like that if you speak against Democrats, you must be Republican. So I'm going to use this analogy, and hopefully this will help you. It just came to me. There's two people, right? You have a blue torch with fire, and you have a red torch with fire, right? The red torch that was meant to torch you is on the outside of your house. The blue torch that's burning down your house, the guy is coming up your steps and is in your house with the blue torch to burn down your house. Who are you going to address first? Answer the question. They both have torches, but the blue torch is in your home. Which person are you going to address first? Okay. So I wanted to put out that analogy. The whole system has been against our people. But when I speak of what the Democrats are doing, I must speak of that because our communities are a product of what? Democrat legislation. Why speak about the Republicans when we are almost exclusively as a people Democrat? So let's fix what's in our house first and get that torch out. And then we're going to go outside and deal with the guy with the red torch. But the red torch is on the outside of our house. And the blue torch is in it, burning us down. Okay? Shapat, thank you. At least I think I can put that piece up online. All right. Thank you, brothers and sisters. I love your support. I love everything you're doing. I couldn't do it without you. And all praises be to the Most High. Okay. I just wanted to use that analogy so that our people can think outside of the program paradigm. Because when our people start, when everyone said that you usually vote for a party that specifically fulfills your interest. What is it you want from a party? See, that's what you need to think. What are they doing for me? I can understand why the LBGT community vote Democrat, because everything they march for gets done. Okay? All of the finances toward civil rights, the legislation are being pushed to embolden them as a race of people almost. So I can understand why they're doing it. What are they doing for you? Like, who's going to vote for someone who can represent you who's not representing you? Does that make any sense? What are you getting out of it? And don't say, well, I'm doing it so that there's no Republican in place. Your communities are a direct product of the Democratic or the Democrat agenda since our people came off the ships. We're not saying vote Republican. We're saying deal with that torch in your house. The torch that's saying that you are aligned with people that walk and operate in perversions. Okay, that align you with the immoral. A party that says, well, you have a right as a black woman, or they try to say women, but they're only targeting really black women. You look at eugenics, to kill your babies, to kill your little black boys. Under the freedom of choice. What type of party is that where our people must agree with murder? So wake up, folks. Abortion have done way more harm than those same Democrats who was hanging us from trees. I mean, I know the Democrats, the Confederate Democrats wish they would have had this system in place, where instead of hanging them after getting full grown, that they could have aborted and killed us before being born. So we're trying to shake the minds of our people, just shake you a little bit. You don't vote for anyone, no matter who it is, if they're not serving your interest. So you have to figure out, what are you interested in before voting? and whether or not there's someone who's aligned with those interests. Not because someone black or they talk good or they may seem articulate. And not only that, it's not you as an individual, it's what they're going to do for every one of you as a whole. The same way all of LGBT as a whole had laws passed in their interest. Jewish people as a whole had laws passed in their interest. Wake up. So just because we're saying, just because we're talking about this, we're not talking about Republicans, because black people don't vote Republican. Lord have mercy. It's like we're going in circles. And if there is no interest, pull out all-together and say, I'm not a part of it. Okay? I'm not a part of it at all. If it's not serving my people, why am I doing it? Well, because Martin Luther King marched and died. He marched and what? He died. I mean, think about that. And you know, that's a straight disrespect to him. No, guess what? It wasn't about the voting. It was about Martin Luther King's next plan to totally financially empower the black community, to be a force to be reckoned with financially. The next stage was to make sure blacks had industry and certain contracts that was a threat to who? The unions. Mm-hmm. That's why they killed him. It had nothing to do with voting. Mm-hmm. Right. He was looking out for the interests of black people by saying that we don't have a part if we don't have a part of the financial pie. Mm-hmm. The funds to secure our own people. That's why they killed Martin Luther King. Not that someone can pull a lever against themselves. Lord, have mercy. We're going to have some history lessons up in here too. The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited.